the game rangers have a license to shoot poachers. So if you go in those protected areas and the ranger is walking around,
Yeah.
there's no questions asked type of policy. That's what
Wow.
I heard. They open fire.
Welcome to the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast.
I got my, welcome to it. This is the Wilderness Wavelength Podcast. Got my first sunburn of the year today, Shelton.
Okay.
Yeah, I did. We were at the Brule rodeo. By the way, your first rodeo, I want to get into that too and see what your experiences was.
Right.
But yeah, I'm George. I'm the host of the podcast. My friend Shelton is up. Welcome to the show, Shelton.
Hi, greetings. Man, I'm so nervous. I don't know. I'm way more nervous than before, but okay.
We're hanging out in the garage, and I wanted to talk about rodeos, and I want to talk about I got a few other things on the list here, but we went to the rodeo in Brule today. It's supposed to rain, so we had all our rain gear and a truck full of rain gear. Sunshine for the most part the whole time, which was amazing. Your first rodeo experience, what did you think?
Yeah, I thought it was awesome. I enjoy the performance of the athletes, if you might call it that.
Oh yeah, I would say so. Hey,
Yeah.
what's the chances of you sticking on a horse for 8 seconds when it's bucking?
0. 0. Maybe 1 second. Probably not even that. But that stuff is wild. You can tell they've been doing it for years.
There was a guy, he got stomped on the leg. I was like, oh man, that hurts, and he's limping off. And then the next rider out there got stomped on the chest, and you're or the back. Yeah. I was like, oh man. Yeah, a little wild. A different type of rodeo. I don't know. This one's kind of almost more like a gymkhana rodeo. It's missing a lot of elements of a typical rodeo.
Yeah.
But had the bronc riding at the end, amazing. Barrel racing was fun.
Which one was barrel racing again?
That's when they're racing around the barrels.
Oh yeah. That was my favorite. I think.
Yeah, that was good. They get into it, you have those girls going down and man, their ponytails flying in the wind there, just giving her. Shelton from Zimbabwe. No rodeos out there?
They probably have, but I've never been. I came here when I was 18. And
Yeah.
was much younger, didn't get much experience over there to really find out the life. Maybe they do, maybe they don't. I don't know.
What's the horses over there?
Of course, yeah. They have horses, but mostly the people that are well off,
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly.
Camels?
We had donkeys instead.
Donkeys?
Oh yeah. That's where most people have is donkeys.
Okay. We I want to dig into a little bit of hunting too, because we've done a few hunting trips in the past few years. You've come out here and explored. I actually met Shelton when I was in Edmonton working as an electrician, and you've been kind of doing that off and on for...
Yeah, pretty much. If I'm not laboring in construction or in the oil and gas,
Yeah.
find some work in electrical, construction also.
What's the dream?
Man, I like the countryside, I don't like to work.
Yeah.
So if I can live my life out in the woods, in nature,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, that's kind of the dream. But
I mean, you say that. I wanted you to come camping a few times, but you won't go camping because of bears or cougars.
yeah, exactly. That makes sense though, because you're in a tent.
Okay.
There's
I
nothing
see.
stopping the animals from getting to you.
So you would go into the countryside as long as you're got a pretty nice shelter.
Like in a camper? Yeah, I think I might be less afraid now, but
Yeah.
it's just hearing stories about bears and cougars. I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know if I want to go in the woods if I got no protection,
No bears in Zimbabwe.
no bears. But there's snakes too. I don't think I'll ever camp over there.
Yeah.
I've heard stories of snakes and scorpions. They
Yeah,
like
that's,
to crawl into places.
Oh, that's a whole nother thing. We were in Australia back in 2019, and we did a camper van trip for a month. And snakes and spiders is kind of the thing I was worried about. And during the daytime, not so much, because I wasn't I was never going into the tall grass really. But it's at night at 2 a.m. when you're in your camper van, you got to get out and go pee. And you're like, okay, I can't see anything. Is there going to be a snake or a spider?
Jesus.
Any issues with snakes growing up?
Yeah, I heard when I was much younger that my sister, not snakes, those scorpions, she was sleeping and she turned over
Yeah.
and lied on a scorpion.
Ooh.
And the scorpions can have a fatal bite too.
Yeah.
They had to rush her to a hospital, but she survived. She was much younger as well. But people die from scorpion bites, snake bites. I don't know any personally,
Yeah.
but that story is always stuck in my head. That's why I was like, I would never camp over there because they crawl in everywhere, right? But you never know. They come out of, especially what you call old dead trees, barks, rotten stuff like that.
Yeah.
Things like snakes come out of there. Things like scorpions. So when you're camping, they gravitate towards something warm, right?
Gotcha.
And
Oh,
body
yeah.
heat. So I'm like, nah, man, I ain't doing that.
I hear that. I don't think I could sleep comfortably with knowing that there's snakes or scorpions around. You were back there, last year for like 4 months? Mm-hmm. Would you ever move back there? Or is like Canada, you're like, oh, I'd much rather Canada? Or what are you noticing as differences?
I do like it here. I mean, I don't do so great in the heat.
Okay.
I love the winter here, but I started riding motorcycles again. So yeah, that's changing my relationship with winter. This year, the winter felt like it was never ending.
Yeah, I hear that. Yeah.
So differences between here and there, the weather is a big one, right?
Yeah.
Like here, the winter is long.
Yeah.
If you have a motorcycle, it feels like 2 years.
Would the move be like head down to maybe like southern BC or something then? Is that because you got a little more riding time then if you wanted to?
BC is expensive.
Yeah.
Like if I had the money, definitely BC would be great. But the question is, how do you get that type of money to live in BC? You know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Even over there, man, like I had a good time there. You know, I was in South Africa for a bit. Maybe half of that time I spent it in South Africa, and half of that time I spent it in Zimbabwe. And I realized that I don't know, like if you had the means to, like different places, like I don't know, there's different reasons to enjoy different places.
Yeah.
Like I'm telling you, I love winter here, but I also like the heat now because I love to ride my bike.
Yeah.
So it's like, I don't know, some people pick a way or they pick a certain thing, but like my mind sometimes is like, oh, you like this and that and that and that. You know what I mean?
Right.
That complicates things.
I'm on the same page because like on this podcast, we get a lot of people on that are like passionate, but then also skilled in different things. So it's like this person is always mountain climbing. This person's always like, paddleboarding or out on the creeks and the rivers. And I'm like, man, I want to do all of this, but I got a job and a kid and, there's priorities. So it's like, what can I comfortably focus enough time on to be like relatively good at, but then still have, a life outside of it too. So it's tough decisions to make. I was disappointed when you showed up with your truck today because I was like, when you called yesterday, like, yeah, I'll come out. I'm like, yeah, come on, we're gonna go to the rodeo. Come check that out. I'm like, oh, he'll bring his bike out, because you.
Well, you didn't bring it up. I thought you knew I was bringing a truck.
What can you tell us what your bike is?
Well, my bike is in the shop because I tried to load it on my truck 2 weeks ago, and I never had that experience. So I went on YouTube, watched 2 videos, and it looked pretty easy.
Yeah.
But no.
So what was your method of loading it onto the truck then?
So I bought a ramp, threefold. I think it's called a trifold.
Yeah.
It's like 1 foot wide sections, but they swivel in, out. That way you have a wide thing.
Yeah.
But it's like a ladder type of setup.
Yeah.
So you can pretty much drive the bike on one side and walk on one side.
Yeah.
But the problem, the spaces between the rungs. So while I was pushing it up, my feet slipped in between the rungs. And once that happened, the bike just shifted because it was now above me.
Yeah.
Banged onto the side of my truck, and I smashed in the radiator, and the coolant started leaking.
Yeah. What kind of bike is it?
It's a 2024 Kawasaki KLR 650.
Yeah. and you got it like set up. Like you were out here last
year, yeah.
Yeah, like in the
November.
fall,
November 16th.
November 16th.
Yeah,
on that.
I was here. Yeah,
and it was like, yeah, you show like we went hunting that day, and then
I spent the night, right?
yeah, you spent the night.
So which means I came on the 15th.
Yeah. And then you were gonna spend the next night, but then that night it was like
weather just
heavy
changed.
snowfall warning
Yeah.
coming, and you're like, gotta get back to Edmonton, and this bike is, yeah, that bike is sweet. I think because with the saddlebags on the side, like it really opens up a lot of exploration for you this summer.
Yeah, well, like 2 weeks ago when I went to grab it, I wanted to ride out here.
Yeah,
Yeah, it didn't go according to plan.
yeah. Were you heartbroken when you dropped it?
Not really, because I just realized it could have been much worse.
Yeah,
So that gave me a little bit of relief. So I felt more like, things worked out better than if
yeah.
it could have been much worse, basically.
What's the
So,
plan for the next time you have to load the bike then?
Yeah.
Different ramp?
No. I don't know. Like what I have in
Helicopter?
mind is I have to talk to somebody. You know, people that have done it. I can't just go on YouTube and look up some videos because I've already done that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe you need a second person. Would that be helpful?
Yeah. There's a guy I was working with on the last job. He was telling me it's usually the two of them. He's never really done it by himself, loading
Yeah.
it on a truck.
Because it's a heavy bike. Like
It's a heavy bike.
Yeah.
It's 450 pounds.
yeah, you drop
The guy
that
at the
on
shop
you,
said-
you're in trouble.
Yeah, and I don't know how it didn't happen there because the way everything went, the bike should have fallen on me.
Yeah.
That's why when everything was done, I was like, I wasn't that disappointed. Realized, oh shit, it looks like I was lucky, even though I mashed up the bike.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I am interested in like you have like a passion for hunting,
Oh yeah.
like coming out here.
Yeah.
We've went hunting a few times, and well, a couple of years ago, you were with me and we got a deer. It was exciting.
Yeah.
What was hunting like did you hunt over in Africa?
Yeah. I mean, in the countryside, pretty much everybody hunts.
What are you guys
But-
hunting for?
Deer, wild boar, antelope. What's the other one? Wildebeest.
Wildebeest. Oh, that'd be
Yeah,
fun.
That's the one I remember the most.
Yeah.
Because
Giant herd of them?
to be honest, my hunting experience is when we went looking for it. I would see it when we're not hunting.
Yeah.
But when we went hunting for it, the times I remember we didn't really find it. But they use dogs, right? Like,
Okay.
So if they're hunting a wildebeest, they kind of see the herd, kind of pick it out,
Yeah.
and pretty much chase it, tire it out, and then surround it by dogs, stab it
Okay.
by spears.
So you're
Just
doing
dogs and spears. That's
dogs
the
and
hunting
spears.
method.
Wow.
Yeah, I mean, there's probably people that hunt with guns, but not from the villages I came from. It's not really. Never seen anybody with a gun.
Yeah.
Everyone hunts the same. Dogs, spears.
I feel like you told me a story one time about like the one guy or one of the guys that has like a lot of the hunting dogs, and he's like kind of like high up in the village just because he has the dogs. Is that how it works there? Like if you have like hunting dogs, you're like more respected?
My uncle, for example, growing up, he had 10 dogs,
Yeah.
but he wasn't a good hunter. The story I remember telling you, there was this other one guy, he was a younger guy, who was a good hunter. He would borrow people's dogs. He didn't have a lot of dogs. Maybe he had one.
Yeah.
Because when you're hunting something big as an wildebeest, you need more dogs. And it comes natural, too. When the dogs hunt together, they coordinate. It's like they're talking to each other.
Yeah.
Every dog does something else. You know, they work in a systematic way to bring the animal down. But something like that in terms of hierarchy or respect, I don't know. I'm not sure. Maybe. But I just remember this one guy in particular. He was always borrowing people's dogs, and he'll come back with something.
Yeah.
And he was really good. And yeah,
Any idea what the breed of the dogs are? Is there a specific breeds, or are they just kind
pretty
of
much mutts.
whatever's there? Yeah.
Whatever is there.
Yeah.
Like like my uncle will have sometimes what's those greyhounds, those big
Okay.
greyhounds.
Yeah, that's what I was wondering, if you're looking for like a super fast dog to,
Yeah.
like, if it's chasing wildebeest.
Yeah, I'm not even sure if those greyhounds are that effective.
Yeah.
Because I know they prefer dogs with, what are they called? Boxers? Not boxers. You know, the ones with big heads.
Yeah.
Maybe it's the
Like a mastiff.
Rhodesian Ridgebacks.
Okay.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
think for the most part, people that hunt there, they prefer those.
And then when you're coming to Canada, because you did some hunting before you even hunted with me, like you were going out with some.
Oh, native friend Rob.
Yeah.
Rob, yeah.
And then he was like hunting moose and
Moose,
things like that. Yeah.
That's the first thing I went to hunt.
Yeah.
was moose with him.
How was that experience compared to like hunting back home?
Well, I guess it's not really that exciting because, first of all, I told him about the moose. It was close to the acreage I was staying close to. And he's like, yeah, we're going to come and hunt it. Then days later, he's like, yo, you want to go hunting? I'm like, bro, I told you about that days ago. That moose is long gone.
Yeah.
And it's like, they don't go far. If you saw it there, it's probably a few kilometers away.
Yeah.
So it comes to the acreage and we go in further into the woods. Think maybe 5 kilometers. We didn't go that far.
Yeah.
And there was two of them. And sets up his gun and shoots, keeps going. The other one takes off. There was two of them. The other one's running. He puts another bullet in it. So it happened so quick.
Yeah.
You know, like when you're hunting back home with dogs,
It's been more involved.
it's more involved. And so if you can't really run after it, now you're using one of your dogs, the tracker.
Yeah.
You're following a scent.
Right.
You could be running after it all day.
Yeah. Yeah.
But that didn't even take, I don't even think it took 45 minutes.
Yeah.
Because when we took off and we took off running after it, for him to give it a second shot, that's super fast. Then that dropped, right? It's not like we were chasing after it all day, you know?
It's like, I think in Canada, like we see, especially in this area, we see like there's lots of animals around, but we are like in some sections they are getting overhunted, whether it be like there's a lot of people out hunting, and some people that you don't need tags, like they have like the history.
Oh,
but
okay, I see what you mean.
But without that regulation, and then in the old days, you're hunting with a bow and stuff. Like things are a little tougher now.
It's
you're
tougher
like,
to
as you mentioned,
overhunt
yeah,
with limited resources. Like
yeah. Now you're driving up with
Yeah.
a high-powered rifle, and it's over, and like it's
in a few seconds,
Yeah.
At times it's over.
it's tougher. Like
Yeah.
it's a way bigger conversation than we could ever have, and I don't know what'll end up happening, but it's tough to watch sometimes when it's like, maybe these animals are getting overhunted, and then what happens? But
Yeah.
do you guys have that problem over there?
Yeah, I mean, like, there's a lot of protected areas because the people, they relied on hunting.
Yeah.
They relied on farming, cattle and livestock ranching,
Yeah.
as well as growing crops and also hunting.
Mm-hmm.
So during certain seasons, they will go hunting, but during certain times, they'll rely on their livestock. So with all that and the droughts, because the countries have seen a lot of droughts, so the animals. So if their livestock dies, and there's not a lot of livestock, they go hunting, right?
Yeah.
So they've seen a lot of, overhunting. So most of the animals now are in protected areas, but people still need to survive, right?
Yeah.
So a lot of times,
Those protected areas.
those protected
Yeah.
areas get hunted.
It makes sense though, because I know you hear stories about that. It's like even like Brazil, the rainforest is like,
Yeah.
they're burning the rainforest, and they're trying to stop people from doing that. But it's like, they're trying to have farms because they don't. That's their only way they're making money and having food and things like that. So it's it's hard to regulate that sort of thing then.
No, because one thing I grew up hearing in those protected areas, I can't 100% say it's true, but I've always heard this. The game rangers have a license to shoot poachers. So if you go in those protected areas and the ranger is walking around,
Yeah.
there's no questions asked type of policy. That's what
Wow.
I heard.
Huh.
They open fire.
Yeah.
Because you see, the thing about poaching, I don't know how much you have heard about this. They have international poachers from certain parts of the world that go poaching, especially in Southern Africa.
This
So-
for like lions and stuff you're talking, or this just for?
In general, like
Yeah.
for example, the rhino horn.
Okay.
There's certain parts of the world where they believe is medicine.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
And even the elephants too. I don't know what they do with the task, but a lot of elephant poaching. Most of the African wild animals are poached.
Yeah.
Say the locals, for example, might poach for food, but the international poachers, they have other
Yeah. It's
other
money.
markets.
Yeah.
So even there back home, like in the villages, it wasn't just hunting in unprotected areas.
Yeah.
It was also hunting in protected areas. Yeah.
I think one thing I realized too is like, even with that deer that you and I had got together there and we like cleaned it out, like we took a lot more of the deer back than I normally would because like your mom like
Yeah.
knew how to cook, like she's cooking
Everything.
up. Yeah, everything.
There's
Like,
not much that you throw
nothing's
out.
wasted.
Yeah.
Which is like, I mean, it's a good policy to have because I mean, I'm sure that's something that was ingrained back then is like, hey, you get an animal, like make the most of it, don't waste any of it. And
Well, I think it's more than that. Like every part of it is pretty much enjoyed because people grow up literally eating every part of the animal.
yeah,
Like what gets thrown out other than the hooves and the bones.
yeah.
Even the skin is used, so
Yeah.
you don't really throw out anything.
Yeah, it's wild. And like when you're telling me about this, I'm like, okay, like she, like the intestines, like everything. It's like,
Oh,
yeah,
yeah.
she'll be able to cook it up. And
You clean them. You get the what do you call whatever's in the intestines, the dirt,
Yeah.
the digested food or whatever you call that. Wash it out, clean it, boil it.
yeah,
Well, cook it. I
Yeah.
can't say boil it. You gotta do it a certain way. Yeah. Maybe I'm not the one to speak on that.
I mean, I appreciate that though, because I think it's a good policy for someone to have if you're going out hunting. Like, learn about what you can do with the rest of the parts, and if you're gonna take a deer or an antelope or a wildebeest or whatever, it's like, yeah, take advantage of that full animal. So we went hunting a few times this year. We got a few grouse, no big game. Is your plan to like get a hunting license? Because I mean, you've been tagging along and going with us.
My plan was to get it. Like I wanted to get some rifles last year, but I didn't.
Yeah.
I do have my hunting license. Remember?
Okay.
Yeah. So I just need a gun.
Yeah.
I guess practice too, because
Yeah.
I don't know if I'm a good shot or not. Probably not,
Yeah.
because every time I go, I'm just part of the hunting party.
You're the
but
helping
I'm
crew.
not the one that shoots it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. There's I would be interested in like doing some hunting like overseas, but
Yeah.
the one thing I do love about hunting is like more than just the hunting, it's just the excuse to get out into the bush.
Yeah, when you said you're a big fan of hunting, I was wondering if the biggest part of it was really hunting, because
It's
I like being out in the outdoors.
No, exactly. It's an excuse to like, hey,
But at the same time, to go out there without the hunting, I think it's 50-50 really on the scale. I don't know. It's hard to say. Like, if you say, let's go hiking out in the woods,
yeah,
if we say, let's go hunting and we don't catch anything, I come back with a big smile anyway.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah, I hear you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think you are right about that, because you can say like, hey, let's go hiking into the woods. You're like, I don't know, I
Yeah,
feel like hiking,
it
but
doesn't have the same
Yeah.
the same excitement and feeling.
yeah, let's go
Yeah.
hunting, and then okay, we'll throw the gun in the truck, and then even if you don't see anything all day, you're still like, oh, what'd you do today? Oh, I was out hunting. We
Yeah.
walked through some.
I
There's
think
just some beautiful areas to explore.
I think the first time we went, we were out all day. We walked around so much, went back to the truck, drove back, went another place. And like I remember thinking this was a good day, and we came back with
Yeah.
We might have got chickens, right?
Maybe
at
one
the
or
end.
two grouse. Yeah.
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 And I
that's,
remember coming back thinking this was a good day.
Yeah.
And when we got something, because it happened so quick, I remember thinking, oh man, I would have liked for it to happen a little bit later, just to stay more in the outdoors.
yeah.
So it didn't feel like a terrible day, but it didn't feel as good as the first time around.
Yeah.
But we still had something, which is
That
which is
was.
weird.
I
Yeah.
feel like you need to tell more people about how good my shot was. That deer. It was.
It was a good shot, but I don't know. I've never really shot a lot of things to really speak on how
Yeah.
great it was.
No, I'm just kidding
Straight
about
through
how
the heart.
great it was. But
Yeah.
it wasn't one of my best shots because it was just like deer walking across a cut line or whatever.
Yeah.
And it was like, hey, it's there and it's coming and
And
it's
it's down right away.
it's done and everything. Like it was just
Yeah.
insta quick
Yeah, no, it
laser
was super
shot.
quick.
But
Yeah,
yeah.
it was through the heart, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah, and it was like, I get home and like explaining that to the wife and stuff. She's like, okay, yeah, that's fine. It's like, well, yeah, but yeah, but come on, give me a high five for it or something.
Yeah.
But
Yeah,
that's, like you say,
It's a good feeling.
yeah.
Yeah.
I hate getting something too early in the hunting season because then I'm like, oh, now I don't have a chance to go out anymore, So that's why it's always nice to have like the grouse tag or whatever. And with like the grouse season is like it's mid-January it goes on till or so now,
Oh,
like our
really?
area. So like, I mean, we're out hunting grouse like in December when it's -20 and mostly you're just driving around back roads and, listening
Yeah,
to
staying in
music
the
and
truck.
yeah, cruising around. But
But that's still, I don't know. There's something about being in the countryside. I don't know.
yeah,
I don't know if it's like that for a lot of people that go hunting, but
you're in
for
Edmonton
me, I
now.
love. Yeah.
Like, would you move to a smaller town? Move to like the countryside? Is that
Yeah, I like the mountains. I like the countryside.
yeah,
Doesn't have to have mountains. I like, I guess, nature, trees,
yeah?
rivers. Yeah, but I don't know.
How
It's
long
not
are you
really cheap.
surviving? Like, we drop you off in the middle of nowhere. How long are you surviving?
If you drop me off in the middle of nowhere.
Well, okay, I'll give you an option too. So you can take. Do you want a knife or a lighter?
The smart thing will be a lighter because you need warmth.
Okay.
But at the same time, how am I? Oh yeah, traps. I'll set up traps. But you need to understand what kind of.
Have you? Do you know how to set up
prey.
traps or anything?
No, just bird traps. Because when we were younger, we used to set up bird traps.
Mm-hmm.
Me and my brother, there's a time where we survived on eating a bunch of birds. We set up some bird traps.
Okay.
Yeah, but for bigger prey, like, I think you need to understand what kind of prey there is. Because what else are you going to eat? Berries?
Yeah, I mean berries.
'Cause
Like
if you're going to survive, you have to eat.
yeah. Berries would be good in in a certain part of the year, but it's definitely not. You wouldn't be able to base your whole year around it for sure.
Okay.
I got a quiz here.
Right.
This quiz is how long could you survive in the wilderness? We'll just go through it. You just answer the questions and we'll see what it has to say. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. So, have you been hunting before? Here's your options. I've never been hunting my whole life. Been hunting a few times. That's probably yours. I've been hunting a few times.
Yeah. I'll
The
say
next
that.
option is I've spent many hours hunting in the great outdoors.
Yeah, I'll say a few times.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hunting a few times. How much time have you spent camping in the wilderness? Gone camping a few times. Not a huge fan. I've actually never gone camping.
Never gone camping.
Never gone camping?
Yeah.
Okay. That might affect the score on this one. You got first aid or CPR training? Yeah, you've done that a few times. Yeah.
Well, 100 times.
Are you current with both of yours?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah. I mean, for most part in construction now, you need
Yeah,
it.
all your jobs you're going to need
Yeah.
first aid
It's
CPR.
pretty rare you go to a job where you don't need that ticket.
Yeah. Oh, that's good then. That'll be. How confident would you be in identifying edible plants? Knowledge very limited, but I would need to take a risk and eat something. You know a few plants,
I
ton
don't
of
know.
training, or don't know plants very well. So
I don't know plants very well.
No? Okay.
Yeah.
Plants in Africa. You a little more familiar with that?
Oh
or-
yeah, for sure, yeah.
Probably be. Yeah, I'm just.
Yeah, to be honest, there is also poisonous berries there,
Yeah.
but I don't remember them. So at this point, I won't be that confident.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I will be confident to remember the edible ones. I'm pretty sure I still remember the ones that you could eat.
Okay.
So the one that I won't be that familiar with, I probably wouldn't eat that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a good policy.
Yeah. You know, when I was hiking from Toronto to, not hiking, but we had a van and we were camping all the way to Vancouver.
Yeah.
So me and this German guy, he had a thick book of plants and berries, the ones you shouldn't eat, the ones you should eat.
Yeah.
So we get to this area, I think it was somewhere in Saskatchewan. That one particular area, it was on his list. It looked like a desert,
Yeah.
just sand everywhere. And then we come across a bunch of berry trees. Like they look like blueberries, and they're so plump and so vivid in color.
Yeah.
And we've been walking in this sand for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was thirsty and hungry. I went ham on it.
Were they good?
Oh, they were delicious.
Yeah.
So he opens the book.
Yeah.
He didn't see me eat these. He opens the book and he says, "Hey man, don't eat this. It says they're poisonous."
Oh, jeez. Did you freak out?
I was thinking I'm gonna be dead soon.
Oh boy.
So, but I didn't tell him I ate it.
Yeah.
I don't know. Like in my head, I was thinking, you know what? Death is part of life, right?
Yeah.
And,
You've
like,
accepted it already.
Yeah, like if I go out, like first of all, I don't feel any. They didn't make my belly hurt or anything, right?
Yeah.
And they were so good. I enjoyed them.
Yeah.
But I didn't eat any
Didn't
more
eat any
after
more
he
after
told me
that.
don't. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I ate quite a bit before he told me that.
Huh.
Yeah.
Have you ever built a fire without matches or a lighter?
No.
You've always had matches. You never done it. You would have no idea where to begin. Have you seen any videos
I've seen videos. Yeah.
of how to do it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think it would be a problem to do it.
Really?
Yeah.
You think you can make a fire without matches or lighter?
100%.
Huh.
Yeah.
How would you do it?
You have to get the kindling,
Yeah.
and you have to get a stick, and you have to get a rock and create like some sort of a crevice where you can
Oh yeah, spinning the stick.
spin the stick to
Okay.
create enough heat in there.
Yeah.
Put either some grass with the kindling,
Yeah.
and once you create enough heat, like things like grass and the kindling will catch fire quicker.
Yeah.
I don't see like I've seen the videos of it being done,
Yeah.
and
Easy.
I don't know, just be used for construction, hard work.
Yeah.
Like we can try it.
Yeah.
I feel like I can do it.
Huh. Because I have some kindling here and I have a rock. So.
You wanna say it?
I mean, this podcast can only be so long, so I.
No, not on the podcast.
It's raining out right
If you
now.
were really curious, we'll put it to the test.
Yeah, I am curious because
Yeah.
Scott, who's like the co-host of the podcast, like he's working on doing it. He's like kind of like the bushcraft outdoorsman, and like he makes it sound like it's pretty difficult. So
Yeah, even on TV when they talk about it, they make it sound like it's pretty difficult.
I've never done it, but
Yeah.
do you carry any kind of pocket utility tool? You got a knife in your pocket?
Not really, but last job they gave us some utility knives. What did they call that? The most common brand. They call those knives with the brand.
Like an Olfa?
Nah.
Leatherman.
Leatherman, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they gave us a bunch of Leathermans.
They give you
Actual
Leathermans?
Leathermans, yeah.
No way.
Yeah.
That's a sweet bonus.
We went to Google it right after because the guys were curious.
Yeah.
$100 on Amazon.
800?
100.
100. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So you got like the Skeletool or something?
Well, it's a Leatherman one with a bunch of stuff like opener,
Okay.
opener.
Probably like the Wave.
I don't know.
You're not carrying it regularly though?
Actually, I haven't really taken it out of the bag that came in when I came back.
Shelton.
Yeah.
Okay. I used to have one. I don't know where it is now. How about that? Your other option would be I never
But you
carry.
carry one, right?
I carry one
You
daily.
have one right now.
There's never a time I have my pants on without a knife in them. Work pants. I got my own special Leatherman for
Have
my
you
work
ever
pants.
needed it?
I use it 20 times a day.
Well, you create stuff to do.
No, it's always just like when I don't have my knife in my pocket, I'm like, oh, I feel naked, like I'm missing something.
You can't open a beer. I open a beer with my teeth. There,
Yeah.
Knife eliminated.
I've never used the knife. I does have a bottle opener on it. I can't say I've never used it, but it's got pliers and a knife, and like my everyday carry is the Skeletool. So it's got a blade on it, and it's got pliers on it, and it's got a bottle opener, and it's got a screwdriver.
I think it might have a little bit more, but pretty close to this one.
Yeah, so that's like the lightest version I could find of a Leatherman that has everything I'm looking for. So that's like made out of carbon fiber. I've had that for
It might be the same one, bro.
5 or 6 years probably.
No, but this one looks a bit smaller. No, it might have a bit more than this.
Yeah, this one is pretty basic. Like it doesn't have a lot of the other stuff you'd find on a knife, but it has the blade that can pop out without having to open it, which I love. And super light, so it's, I know I have it, but it's not pulling down my pants.
Yeah.
Okay, so
light. Yeah.
You never carry a knife on you. Okay, you should add that to your arsenal, especially with if you're riding the bike and stuff all the time. I would put a knife in my pocket.
Yeah, but the bike tools are also in the bike always.
Could you create a water filtration system from natural elements? I have no idea how to do that. I've seen a video how to do that. I've been trained, or yes, I've done it before. Water filtration from natural elements.
No, I've never been trained to do that. What are my options for answers?
I would have no idea how to do that. Or I've seen a video on how to do that. I'm going to go, I have no idea how to do that.
No, because there was a time where I was Googling and watching videos and joining groups on social media on, what do they call those people? Survivalists or whatever?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you've seen a video how to do that?
I've seen some of the videos, but I don't think it was everything natural. Because I remember some person was using sand.
Yeah.
And I'm pretty sure the sand was in a plastic bottle or something like that. So it was not everything natural. It wasn't everything natural, I mean. So, yeah, I guess you might as well say I have
no idea.
Okay.
Guess. How would you rate your physical strength? I'm a very strong person. I'm not a weightlifter or anything, but I have a decent amount of strength.
A decent amount of strength.
All right, yeah.
Because I started going back to the gym, and I was surprised I couldn't even lift half as much as I used to.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, my God, maybe it's getting older.
Yeah.
So I was so surprised, bro.
You mentioned, and we were talking earlier about this today, but it's like when you can get into a routine of like going to the gym or working out or whatever, it's like then it's a lot easier to stick with. But as soon as you break that routine, then it's hard to like re-get it started.
Personally, I have to go daily.
Yeah. So what phrase best describes your health? Out of shape, healthy, sick, fit as a fiddle?
Not too out of shape because I've just been improving a bit.
Yeah.
A lot quicker.
So would you say
I am out of shape, but not that bad.
Healthy? Or fit as a fiddle?
Or just say out of shape. I can't say healthy, man. I'm working on it.
Right, okay.
Yeah.
How do you generally deal with stress? Stress tends to stick with me for days. I just try to keep moving. I move on from it very quickly, or it can haunt me for a while, but I eventually move past it.
I guess that depends. Stress from what?
Let's say like you're dropped off in the wilderness and lost. How are you dealing with that stress? Are you panicking? Or are you like a little more relaxed? Or would you like, I guess this question is probably like, would you be able just to sit back and be like, okay, take a breath. This is what I need to do.
How do you handle stress? Yeah, I would say calm. I would say I deal with stress pretty good.
Just try to keep moving?
Yeah, I'll tell you a story. When we went hunting, at one time with that guy I was telling you about, that I used to borrow people's dogs and go hunting. He's known to be a good hunt.
Yeah.
We went hunting in a protected area.
Oh boy.
And everyone knew that the rangers would shoot on sight, and they're allowed to do that.
Yeah.
So we had some noise. I think we might have heard a shot, and there was a whole bunch of us.
Yeah.
And that was during a drought. Everyone was trying to get something and go home. I was much, much younger. I went with the hunting party there. So everyone scattered, panic, right? Because they say he'll shoot you, he'll shoot your dogs. They're allowed to just shoot at the poachers.
Wow.
So because we're pretty much poaching.
Yeah, exactly. You're hunting in a
So
protected.
everyone scatters, and like I know the area, but I don't know the area that well. So instead of, so I knew if I cross the tarred road, I knew which general direction to go back home.
Yeah.
But we were way deep into the woods, so I kept running, and I tried to run in the direction I thought the tarred road was, because everyone scattered. Like no one had time to talk when that
go.
whole commotion. Everyone's trying to save themselves because no one wants to get killed, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, I was coming off. I ran until I found the tarred road.
Yeah.
And finding the tarred road, I knew how to orient myself until I get home.
Mm.
So there was no panic at any point, even though I didn't know the area that well.
Yeah.
I knew what to do. I had to find this place. I had a rough idea, and even though I thought I was lost, I kept going in the direction that I thought I should be going without panicking, and I made it.
Yeah.
As soon as I seen the tarred road, I knew I was good.
Everyone else make it back safe too?
Yeah, everyone
Nice.
makes. But even my dogs, because like I thought the dogs would run in my direction.
Yeah.
Dogs scattered too.
They panicked too. They knew.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
So yeah, that was interesting.
Wow. Have you ever watched a survival show on TV?
Yes, I have.
I love those shows. Watch them all the time then, or
Used to,
I've
I guess.
watched a show about survival before.
I can't say I watch them all the time, but I used to like to watch those shows.
All right.
Yeah.
How about any formal training and survival skills? Been to a number of schools on survival? Nope, not at all.
No, I haven't. What about you?
Brief training and some basic. I've had brief training and some basic survival skills. That might be you, or nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
No, not at all. Yeah, I mean, I've taken like wilderness survival and like hunting education, and but as far as like formal training, no, not really. Like very basic formal training a long time ago.
Don't you think it's more important for you to take something like that right now, working as a ranger?
I'm not working as a ranger, but it is important for sure, because I am like working out in the bush and stuff, and yeah, I should probably take more courses and stuff, but I feel like I can learn from other people and get experience from other people. Like, hey, let's go camping, we'll do this, let's go practice fire. I don't think I need the formal training. I think just practical. The more experience I can get out
Isn't
there.
the formal training practical, because they can't just talk about it?
Yeah,
They have to take you out there and show it to you. That's
yeah,
survival
maybe.
training.
I just, when I'm thinking this, I'm thinking like go to a classroom and hear a bunch of notes on trees. Like I'm
Yeah, that
not
doesn't
good at
sound
learning that
practical.
way.
Yeah, because when I was looking into it, they actually take you out.
Yeah.
Like there's a people that have been doing it, I don't know, maybe for generations.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know there's a group in BC, there's groups in Alberta. Some of them know each other. Like if you go on these social media pages where the survivalist social media pages,
Yeah.
there's some reputable people that do this type of thing. Yeah.
I mean, I'm not opposed to it. I definitely like any chance I have to get like a little bit of knowledge from somebody that knows, like how to survive, and I'm all on board for something like that. Okay, how good do you think you would be at building a shelter? Odds are I would fall down on the first day. Never done it before, but I'm guessing we'd be pretty good at it. Done it a few times, or I built lots of shelters. I'm great at it. Think you can make one that would stand up for a few days?
I think so. But that's not a straightforward question, cuz like what kind of tools do I have? No tools.
Let's say you got an axe.
But you're in the wilderness. Where did you get the axe?
You made the axe. I don't know. You found the axe, and let's say your truck broke down. So you broke down way back.
You hit some stuff in the truck.
You had a few things, yeah.
Yeah, I think I'll make some shelter.
You'd be
because
okay.
I've watched a bunch of videos on survivalists. So
Okay.
Not to say like we were saying earlier, like I tried to load my motorcycle based on 2 videos that I watched. The things you
Didn't
think you
work out.
can do, and the things that you can actually do is
Yeah.
not the same thing.
True.
Yeah.
Here's another body one. What best describes your body type? Slim, athletic, a few extra pounds, overweight.
Fat. Fat. I'll tell you, when I went to working camp, this last job was there for a month.
Yeah.
So it had to be clean shaven.
Yeah.
I'd grown out my beard so big. So after I was done shaving,
Yeah.
I'm like, oh my God, I seen a second chin, bro.
Oh boy.
So yeah, fat.
I'm gonna say-
no, it's the fattest I've ever been.
Okay, I'm gonna say a few extra pounds then.
Yeah.
How well? It's not like you're overweight, really. Like,
That's what you think?
yeah, I don't. Like,
No, man. Like, look here.
yeah, I don't see it though. Like, maybe a little
Maybe
bit
because
bigger
my,
than.
my beard is growing back, but I could see the second chin. I've never had a second chin, bro.
Yeah, it's just gravity, I think. How?
Like, what, getting older?
Yeah, must be.
I don't know.
How-
Yeah, getting fatter. Okay, let's say it's gravity, but also getting fatter.
Right. Yeah. How well would you be able to deal with extreme heat? I wouldn't be happy about it, but I'd gut it out. I'd stay in the shade as much as possible. I would be totally miserable. I hate being hot.
But it's not, you know what they say when surviving in the heat? Wait till it's nighttime, because the killer is dehydration.
Right.
Like, I don't do well in the massive heat.
Yeah.
Can you ask me the question again?
How well would you be able to deal with extreme heat? So based on your answer, then you'd probably stay in the shade as much as possible.
Yeah.
That's your move. Yeah. I mean, seems smart. Would you consider yourself a patient person? I tend to get antsy pretty fast. I'm a pretty patient person, but I definitely prefer to move along with things. I'm a very patient person. I don't take action until the time is right. Or I definitely struggle with patience, but I'm getting better at it.
The second one sounded right.
Yeah, pretty patient, but I definitely prefer to move things along.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you think logically, even under very challenging conditions? I'm pretty good job at staying rational. I tend to throw logic out the window in extreme stress. I stay logical even in the midst of very emotional and challenging situations. Or honestly, I tend to be driven more by my emotions. You stay logical? Can you stay logical under challenging situations, conditions?
Yeah, I think so. But I think that also depends too. Like, some situations.
I do. So I'd say I do a pretty good job of staying rational, but I have my limits.
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay.
Yeah.
Have you ever slept outside under the stars before?
In the truck, yes.
In the truck, yeah.
Oh, wait. No, I have actually slept outside with nothing.
Okay.
Yeah.
I've done it once before, but wasn't a huge fan.
What are the other answers?
I've never done it before, but I'm guessing I would have trouble falling asleep like that. No way, it would totally freak me out. Or yes, I love to sleep under the stars.
But none of those,
Yeah, no, I would say you've done it before, but wasn't a huge fan.
I guess.
Yeah, out of those answers.
Out of those answers.
What's the longest you've gone without eating before?
Without eating, 3 days.
I've lasted a little over 2 days without food, or I've fasted for more than 3 days.
3 days.
Yeah?
So over 2 days.
Wow.
Yeah.
On purpose?
Yeah, fasting.
Fasting.
Yeah.
What strategy for conserving energy would you use? And we kind of talked about this before. So you would conserve energy during the middle of the day and do the bulk of your activity dawn and dusk?
Yeah.
Yeah. Sounds like the best answer for that.
Well, even the videos I've seen, that's what they suggest.
Yeah. How would you deal with extreme cold conditions?
Extreme cold conditions.
I'd figure out a way to stay warm.
Probably shelter, yeah.
Yeah.
Build a shelter and fire. 'Cause
Okay.
you use a lot of energy in the cold. If you curl up in the ball, you're gonna be dead soon.
Yeah. This is a tough one because I know like you don't like bears or cougars. So what would you do if you come across a grizzly bear? Here's your options here.
Okay.
Grizzly bear, okay?
Yeah.
Run away as fast as I could. Make a lot of noise and make myself look as big as I could. Curl into a ball, protect my vital organs, or climb the nearest tree.
Make myself as big as I could.
Yeah, great answer.
What's the training, bro? I've taken bear awareness so many times.
You have?
Yeah.
For work?
Yeah.
Wow. I guess when you're working up north and stuff, that'd be something that's part of it, eh?
Almost, I don't know if all the job, but I think almost all the jobs up north. You have to take that.
Do you tend to make plans or just wing it?
You can't be just two answers. Sometimes I do both.
Yeah.
Sometimes I make plans, sometimes I wing it.
I like to have a general idea what I'm doing and figure out the details as I go.
Oh shoot, that's what I'm doing with the vlogging thing I'm working on.
Yeah. How would you describe your attitude in general? Like, you an optimist, a pessimist, stay positive for most things, or pretty negative?
I say I'm optimist. What do you think?
I think you tend to stay positive through most things, I would say. I don't think you're like an eternal optimist, but I don't think you're a pessimist either.
Yeah.
Stay positive through most things. I think that's like,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Okay. How
Oh,
about,
yeah. Actually, yeah, that sounds more like, yeah, that makes more sense. Because optimist at all times, that's not even practical.
what's your first priority in survival situation? Water, fire, food, or immediate danger? Assess any immediate. First
Water,
priority.
fire, food. It's got to be immediate danger. Like
Assess any
That's
immediate.
a given. Yeah.
Assess any immediate danger before
Yeah.
water, fire, food.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like you can't be in a situation where, say, you're in a territory of an animal that's territorial or whatever. That means, you're gonna be dead before you work on the next plan. So why should you stay there, type of thing?
Let's say you're in the middle of the bush. What's your main strategy for signaling someone? So getting to the highest ground, waving your arms, smoke, fire, or finding a reflective surface to direct it, planes overhead.
Smokes makes more sense in the woods.
I'd say so. Yeah. I think this looks like this is going to be the last question. Okay, here we go. You ready for this? This is how long you would survive in the wilderness, according to
Probably not
howstuffworks.com.
long.
They're giving you a couple weeks.
I was starting to realize that, given all the questions,
Yeah.
maybe it's a good idea to take up some training. You know, as a person that loves the outdoors, you can't just go out there and figure you're gonna be okay.
Yeah.
You need more knowledge.
Yeah.
You need more training. You need more understanding. It's just like me saying, "Oh yeah," because I feel like I can load up my bike for the first time, something I have never done.
Yeah.
After watching 2 videos, okay, I'm gonna do it.
Yeah.
I feel like that's my attitude towards that whole thing right now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, I see that. So they break it down a little bit. They say you may not be a survival expert, but your wilderness skills exceed those of most people, like with your first aid training and bear wear and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Your abilities in water filtration, tracking, and hunting, so you've done like a little bit of hunting, are going to keep you going as you attempt to make your way out of this mess. You're not exactly thriving, but you're squeaking out an existence and increasing the likelihood of your survival with each small victory.
2 weeks.
You got a couple weeks.
Usually it doesn't take that long for rescue if they know you're somewhere to find you.
There was a story. I haven't followed up on this to see. There was a story that came out like a few months ago. Some guy in, I want to say BC or maybe it was Northern Alberta or something, but like he was gone for like a month or something in the bush. And people were searching for him, and then he just popped out and was like, I wish I should look up more about that story. Maybe I'll find a link for it and post it in the show notes.
You talking about the guy that showed up on the search?
Yeah.
I know they were searching for him.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. I remember reading a story like that.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. It felt weird because he was like in an area where people were, and like if he really wanted to be rescued, like he was able to light a fire and stuff, like just light a big fire and get a big smoke going. There's like planes searching for him. There's people out there. Like it felt like he was hiding.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know the full story for that now, but yeah. So you got a couple weeks, but I do think you're right in thinking that, hey, maybe if you're gonna, go on a big trip or you want to move into the bush or take the bike out somewhere, like a little bit of planning.
Yeah, because that's definitely. I don't think I talked to you about it. That was definitely in the plans of. Because I was gonna ride out here.
Yeah.
But I was also thinking of riding out off roads.
Yeah.
But like, we didn't have this conversation. But now that you bring it up, you realize, you're talking about, are you a pessimist or an optimist? I think I am an optimist because it's like I assume that I'm just gonna be fine.
Yeah.
But that's ignorance more than optimism, isn't it?
Yeah, for the most part, it's like, hey, you might be fine. It might be just perfect. You ride off in the off-roads. But
If
there's
something
always
happens.
the chance that, you're tired. You smash your rim on your bike, so you're not getting out of there, and
Or you get disoriented.
you're lost.
What do you do now?
Yeah. You got to make sure, especially if you're going somewhere where there's not going to be anyone around, and who knows when you'll see the next human. Like, you got to have a bit of a backup plan where it's like, we had Robert Lindsay on the podcast. He's like a scrambler around here. Like, he's always scrambling mountains in the area. And he's like, we kind of went over some of the stuff he had in his pack. And it's like, have 3 sources of ignition. So you got matches, you got a lighter, maybe you got a flint. And then, you got an emergency blanket, you got a first aid kit, you got some kind of, maybe get one of those, I can't remember what they're called right now, but like the Life Strong pens or whatever, that.
For filtration.
Live Strong.
Yeah, Life Straw.
Life Straw, yeah. And just like have like a couple backup plans. Like, you may never need it, and hopefully you'll never need it. But
when you do need it, it's life and death.
Oh, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, you get out there and it's pouring rain and you can't get a fire lit and you got no tarp for a shelter and you're shivering and, it gets cold in the mountains. Yeah, you'll be wishing you had a little bit of backup plan. So
you'll be dead in no time. That's what you mean.
Yeah, exactly, yeah. So, I think that's like, it's a good lesson for everybody. Like, I know I bought a bag today that will be like my kind of hiking bag that I'll have, and it's like based on these conversations I've been having on this podcast, like, oh yeah, okay, I got to make sure I have this in the bag, and I better have a little tarp in there, and like a whistle and some way to start a fire, and just like a few just basic things that when I'm sitting around in the garage having a beer, I'm like, oh, I got this. Like, I can just go in the bush with my flip-flops and I'll be fine, which for the most times I am, but there's always that chance that it's nice to have a backup plan.
Let's say the time to dig a well is when you're not thirsty.
Yeah, that.
When you dig a well, when you're thirsty, it might be too late because how long is that gonna take?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The time to dig your well is when you're not thirsty.
I forgot how the saying is said.
No, that's a good one.
Something along those lines, though.
I like that. So, as we wind this episode down, rodeo is going to be a regular part of your future? You're going to go be checking out more rodeos, or this was like...
No, I really like that one.
Yeah.
I don't know if to say I'm a big fan that I'll be going on the next. It might be depending on who I'm going with, right? Like,
well, come up next year for the Brule one, because
Yeah.
that's like such a cool setting with the mountains in the backdrop, and it's beautiful
No,
out there.
Definitely. I don't know. I made the experience really good, or the rodeos are always a good time, but I really had a good time. I thought it was a good time.
Yeah, they're usually a pretty good time, and like they
Yeah.
put on a good show here, and it's just like, it's such my mom was there, and she's like, I've never seen this many babies at a rodeo before.
Yeah.
And like there was like I don't know, 40 toddlers, like, under
there
1
was a
years
lot.
old
Yeah.
around. It's just such like a
Babies,
family
toddlers,
environment. There was an
kids.
8-month-old that was riding a sheep, mutton
Yeah,
busting
yeah.
today. Like, it's just it's a cool experience for the family, and yeah. Okay, well, next time you come out here, bring the bike out, and like I want to do a little bike trip into the bush here too, so we can.
Did you ride it last time, or was it? No. Because
No, I'm scared to
we
ride
never
your bike.
did it.
I'd hate to drop it and break anything, but I got a quad.
Oh,
And
you bring the quad out.
yeah, I'd follow you around, and then maybe we'll time ourselves to see how long it'll take us to make a fire with some kindling and a stick and a rock. And
I don't know what you're up to next weekend, but my bike should be out of the shop.
yeah,
It was supposed to be out of the shop already, but guess there was issues in the shop there. So definitely next week.
Okay, we're going to a tractor show in Westlock, but camping the night, so you could actually come out camping if you wanted to.
Yeah. No, I'm definitely interested
Okay,
in camping.
Shelton, first time on the podcast. You were really worried before, but
Yeah, man. I don't know this podcast.
are you less worried now?
Yeah, still nervous. I don't know what the emotions are, but kind of scary for me.
Oh, you did good.
Yeah.
If you're listening to this podcast and want to get a hold of us, wildernesswave@outlook.com. One of the best ways to do it. Also, drop us a line through Instagram. We're always looking for interesting guests from anywhere, but This podcast kind of dedicated to the Northern Rockies and the Hinton area. So if you know someone or yourself that would have an interesting story, want to come on the podcast, send us a message. You can also get a hold of us through Instagram. We'll be on there. And always down to chat. So thanks for coming on, Shelton.
Thank you.
Until next week, stay wild.
Wilderness Wavelength.